this is Miss M, and today's topic, solving inequalities. What is an inequality? That just means the answers are in a range of numbers, not just one number or two number answers. That also means that you could be asked to graph the answer or write the answer in interval notation. How do I know if I was given an inequality? Well, does your equation have one of these symbols, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or a greater than or equal to sign? If so, you have an inequality. My question looks like 7x minus 19 is greater than or equal to 25. Okay, I have an inequality. What do I do with it? Well, you just solve it like any other equation. That means you use PEMDAS to get the variable by itself. Let's get the answer. We have 7x minus 19 is greater than or equal to 25. So we're going to undo the subtraction by adding 19 to both sides. Remember, we want to get the x piece by itself before we can undo the multiplication or the exponent that's happening to the x. So we're going to add 19 to both sides. That's going to give us 7x is greater than or equal to 44. Then we're going to divide by 7 to undo the multiplication that's happening between the 7 and the x. That gives us x is greater than or equal to 44 sevenths, or 44 over 7. Okay, I have an answer. So you said that that means that I could have to graph, or I could have to do an interval notation. So let's do graphing first. We want to graph 44 over 7. This answer says that my x is greater than or equal to, meaning the x's are bigger than 44 over 7, or 44 sevenths. So, okay, if my x's are greater, that means 7, 8, 9, 10. All of those are bigger than 44 over 7. So, we're going to be graphing our answer. We're going to start with 44 over 7. And we're going to put a circle, an open circle, closed circle, I'm sorry. We're going to put a circle, a closed filled in circle. Then we're going to shade our line for things that are greater than. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Miss M, how did you know the circle was filled in? Well, you'll notice that my inequality symbol had a line underneath it. That means we fill in the circle. If the symbol does not have a line underneath it, then you leave the circle open or unfilled at the point. Miss M, you said something about interval notation. Yes? We're going to write interval notation. Interval notation sometimes looks like a point if you use open parentheses. You're going to start with the smallest value, and then you're going to write the largest value. The only thing that's going to change is going to be the brackets that you use, or the parentheses. So for interval notation for our answer, it says x's are greater than or bigger than 44 sevenths. So we're going to start with 44 sevenths because that's our smaller number, and everything bigger than that is in our answer. So the answers just keep going and going and going. So we're going to use an infinity symbol on the right-hand side of our answer. We're also going to use the square brackets with the 44 over 7 because my symbol had a line underneath it. We're using the square brackets. Notice I didn't use the square brackets for the infinity symbol. That's that weird symbol that you see there on the right-hand side. So it means that the answer will go on forever. It'll keep going and going and going. And that means that we're going to use the parenthesis instead of the square bracket. And you always use parentheses instead of the square bracket with an infinity symbol. So is there anything else that can happen? Yes, there's two other things that can happen. If you're dividing by a negative number, something else will happen, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. Or you could have a compound inequality, and we'll talk about that as well. The first thing, dividing by a negative. If you divide it by a negative, you have to flip the symbol. So a less than would change to a greater than would change to a less than. If they have the lines underneath them, they keep the lines underneath them. So it would be less than or equal to would change to a greater than or equal to. A compound inequality. A compound inequality has two inequality symbols in it. Kind of like a compound word has two words in it. Well, a compound inequality has two inequality symbols in it. If you need more help with compound inequalities, check out the compound inequality video on the channel. If you have a question on this topic or have a topic you'd like me to do a future video on, leave a comment down below. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check out the channel for other math videos. Bye!